Chapter 27, Visit. Wang Lin stared at the spot Zhang who had just been standing in. After a long time, he let out a sigh while holding the yellow paper in his hand. After coming to the Heng Yue sect, Zhang Hu was his first friend, but now this happened. This immortal talisman is the cause of this disaster. Wang Lin stared at the talisman. His eyes suddenly changed as he noticed what was different about it. Although this yellow talisman looked just like the talismans disciples get when they go to visit their families, the amount of spiritual energy in it was much higher than the other ones. In addition, there was a sense of danger coming from the talisman. Wang Lin was surprised. Although he didn't know what it was, he knew that it was a treasure. Hesitating slightly, Wang Lin put away the yellow paper. Looking at the corpse on the ground, he let out a sigh. If this corpse wasn't taken care of, with Zhang Hu's speed, he wouldn't be able to escape the sect. Luckily, there was enough room in the bag of holding to hold the corpse. Wang Lin then organized the room and wiped away the blood. He quietly went into the mountain and disposed of the body, then carefully made his way back to his room. After lamenting about what happened, he decided to not think about Zhang Hu anymore. He took out the immortal talisman and began to study it. On the first look, the talisman looked exactly like the ones disciples used when visiting home. But upon closer inspection, one could tell from the material and the ink that it was vastly superior than the talisman's disciples used to go home. Wang Lin squeezed the immortal talisman. He pondered a little. He wasn't sure of the exact usage of this talisman. Since the day that he had almost died from drinking the dew, he had been very careful about things belonging to immortals. He didn't dare to carelessly use them. Plus, the characters on the talisman revealed a hint of danger, causing him to be even more cautious. After hesitating for a bit, he put away the talisman. He decided to study it later. After doing all of this, he took out the mysterious bead and entered the dream space. This time, he didn't focus all his time on cultivation, but spent some learning the attraction force technique. He felt that the attraction force technique was very useful after using it on Brother Liu. That was why he was so determined to practice it. He first used the gourd as a target. He tried using the attraction force to grab the gourd. After numerous tries, he finally succeeded. He immediately stopped using the attraction force and started from the beginning. Wang Lin's thought process was very simple. He felt that he must be able to freely use the attraction force. If he tried to use it 10 times, it must succeed 10 times, or else, no matter how strong it was, it couldn't be used in key moments. He calculated a bit. Given his current condition, he could succeed 3 out of 10 times. With only 4 successes so far, it was far from measuring up to his own standards. The time spent in the dream flew by. Without Wang Lin realizing, the feeling of being torn apart came. After coming back to reality, he wasted no time at all. As he opened his eyes, he drank more spring water and started to cultivate. When there was sufficient spiritual energy in his body, he took a deep breath as the contents of the 3 stages of qi condensation appeared in his head. Aside from the laws for each of the 3 stages of qi condensation, there were also 2 very important chants. These chants were the real core of qi condensation. There were 15 layers of qi condensation. Aside from the first layer, which one could obtain by themselves, all the other 14 layers required a chant to enter the next layer. For example, if he had already completed the first layer, and even mastered the second layer's cultivation method, he could only stay in the first layer if he didn't succeed the second layer's chant. Wang Lin muttered the chant in his mind. The spiritual energy in his body started to change. At first, the change was small, but soon, it felt like boiling water was flowing through his body. It seemed that there wasn't enough spiritual energy as it intermittently spread throughout his body, causing soreness, numbness, itchiness, pain, and the like all over his body. He also had an illusion that his body was full of holes. All of this was caused by the spiritual energy. There was a very prominent line in 3 stages of qi condensation. The opening chant for each layer won't always succeed. Talent, spiritual energy, and chants all played key roles. Some people would be able to succeed in 1 try, while some people would need 10 or hundreds of tries. After a long time, the feeling in his body slowly dissipated. Wang Lin was covered in sweat, and the spiritual energy in his body was all gone. But Wang Ling knew from the book that the lack of spiritual energy was only temporary and would recover after meditating for a while. He failed to open the second layer, but Wang Lin was not discouraged. This time, he was just testing it out. It just showed that he didn't have enough spiritual energy at that moment to enter the second layer. After all, he had just achieved the first layer. There was no rush. He still had the spring water with him, so he could just cultivate until he reached the limit of the first layer before attempting to reach the second layer again. That would increase his chances greatly. With this plan, Wang Lin started to cultivate night and day. The spiritual energy in his body started to slowly accumulate, and his mastery of the attraction force technique also increased. He tried the chant for the second layer many times, but all of them ended in failure. In reality, half a month had passed, but 3 months had passed in the dream space. Today, Wang Lin was cultivating, waiting for the time to enter the dream space again. He saw that it was still early. He hesitated for a bit, then started the chant for the second layer to experience it again. He couldn't even remember how many times he had experienced it. Every time, it ended with him being worn out and all the spiritual energy in his body gone without success. 2 hours later, Wang Lin raised his head. He was worn out again, and all his spiritual energy was gone from his body. He muttered to himself with a wry smile, "Failed again. Entering the second layer is too hard?" Suddenly, his eyes darted toward the door. A cold voice came through the door. "Apprentice Brother Wang, come out to see me." The voice sounded familiar. Wang Lin got up and opened the door to see a 27 or 28-year-old youth in black standing outside with a cold air about him. Black clothes? Wang Lin's heart tightened. He recognized that he was the same person that brought him, Wang Zhuo, and Wang Hao to the Heng Yue sect, and also the person who brought his father to find him near the cliff. But Wang Lin remembered that he was wearing white clothes back then. Now, after a few short months, he had risen up to black clothes. He suddenly remembered the day when they were testing at the foot of the mountain. The person who took Wang Hao as a helper said that the man in front of Wang Lin now had reached a critical point in their cultivation and took over as the examiner to avoid distracting him.